Everybody say, ah. Say, oh, oh. Say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are, you're my everything. Say, I call you Jireh. Lord, I provide. I call you Nisi. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. I call you Jireh. Lord, I provide. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. Uya matinyana. Uya matinyana. Uya matinyana. Oh, uya matinyana. Hello, lovely people. Another Saturday afternoon is here with us, and we're live on the program, The Community, and the law live on BWTV and also on the social media platforms of BWF Solicitors. This Saturday, we are going to look at the mandatory eVisa registration for non-EU migrants in the UK. All the things you need to know are going to be outlined this afternoon, and I have the honor and the pleasure of letting you know that a resource person and guest will be Madam Eunice, a champion partner of BWF Solicitors. So, gather ourselves around, let's share the program and also get ready for the discussion as the community and the law.
Hello. Yeah, you're good. Hello. There are several questions in the community when it comes to the law, especially with immigration matters. That is why I'm inviting you to join us on the program, The Community and the Law, live on BWTV and brought to you by BWF Solicitors, our trusted partners when it comes to the law. We are going to have a very massive discussion on some of the issues of immigration matters that bother you. And they have the opportunity to meet you live on the program to explain to you all the updates that have come from the Home Office and also address your questions and concerns that you might have when it comes to the law. The Community and the Law is brought to you every Saturday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. We're live on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. At BWF Solicitors, at BWTV, and of course, we urge you to share the program and invite others to join us. Remember, it's at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Saturday, live on BWTV. You have your questions. There are answers. So join us, learn, and empower yourself on the program, The Community and the Law. So pick up the phone and dial 0208 493 7345, or you can send a text 07950 422 780. It's The Community and the Law. My name is Oreku Frimpon, and I am your host.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Well, I am so excited to be coming your way again with another edition of the community. And the Lord is very Saturday, the 21st of December 2024. You know that between now and the end of the year 2024, your BRP card you have is going to expire. If you don't believe me, just pull out your BRP card and look at the expiry date. It's 31st December 2024, which means that that card would expire. There is a provision for you to migrate from this card to another platform. That is the eVisa we're talking about. Many people have had challenges with all the eVisa things, and then the question is, how do I get it right? How do I do it? Who is even qualified to do the eVisa and the rest of it? The mandatory e-visa registration for non-EU migrants in the UK is going to be up for discussion. So all you need to know will be pointed out. And I'm happy and privileged to let you know that I am on the program with lawyer Eunice Champon, partner of BWF Solicitors. And that tells you that we're coming your way by courtesy of BWF Solicitors, your trusted partners when it comes to the law. They are on the 4th floor of the Anna House. 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters in North London. Call them now on 208 493 7340, and the emergency number is 077 127 61884. 077 127 61884. BWF Solicitors is ready to help you unravel all the mysteries around anything immigration, anything family law, anything the law has for you here in the UK. So come along with me, obviously, to get into that discussion that Lawyer Eunice is going to lead us into. So, first of all, let me say, Ines, good afternoon and welcome to the community and the Lord this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Grateful, and good afternoon to all of our viewers who are watching us wherever you are, whether on YouTube or on Facebook. We send a Merry Christmas to you all. We're looking forward to Christmas, and I know that hopefully this year will end on a good note.
Yes, Eunice, thank you very much. Yes, that reminds me, Christmas is just a few days away. Sometimes when people say we have just about 4 sleeps and 4 nights to go to Christmas, so definitely get yourself ready into the celebratory mode. But before then, just arm yourself with a lot of information so that you don't fall foul of the law. And that's what we are doing this afternoon on the community and the law. Let me get you into some updates. First of all, we have some people who have experience the services of BWF solicitors and are so grateful that they're recommending BWF solicitors. I have Sarah who says that I contacted the BWF solicitors regarding my citizenship, and I really appreciate how they handled the situation. And now I'm a British citizen. I would like to thank lawyer Bernard Owusu and Cynthia Brown. I will highly recommend that the BWF solicitors that we're talking about are the best, and you deal with them. Sarah, thank you very much. You've given us that review, and we do appreciate that. You can visit Google and look for BWF solicitors and leave your recommendations and reviews there, or you can send that to us on 07399 and we'll read it out. So people will also know that when it comes to BWF solicitors, we have a highly reliable organization that will help us, especially with our immigration matters. So thank you, Sarah, and thank you all of you that have also experienced that positive things from BWF solicitors. Let's catch up with some updates. What is KIT? Um, well, Lawyer Eunice is here, and this is a bit more in her realm. She will be telling us, she's got the experience, so definitely we'll be looking at that. So, what are keeping in touch days? And keeping in touch days, it says, allow employees on maternity leave to work without bringing their maternity leave or pay to an end. Employees on maternity leave can take 10 KIT days, that is keeping in touch days, during their statutory maternity leave. Working more than 10 days will end the employee's maternity leave. So the employee and the employer should agree on the type of work and pay before the employee starts work. So keeping in touch days, we'll be looking at that. But I think I would want to uh, readily go into that and ask, Lioness,
Yes.
what is this? Because people, when they go maternity leave, are allowed the statutory days and all that.
Mm.
Why the 10 extra days?
Okay, so keeping in touch days, as you have rightly said, is when an employee agrees with the employer that they would like to work on their contractual hours for at most 10 days. You can't do more than 10 days under Regulation 9A of our statutory maternity pay regulations 1986. So you are allowed to agree a period of at most 10 days contractually. So your normal contractual hours of work, if it's 8 hours a day, you agree with your employer that you want to come in for this number of days and you want to work contractually with your employer without it affecting your maternity pay. So you would still receive your maternity pay in addition to your contractual pay as normal. And so most employees who would want to do this would have to agree this with their employer first of all before they can do these number of days. And as you know, maternity, statutory maternity pay is usually between you and the employer for a period of at least 6 months. And so once your 6 months is over, that pay is reduced. And then from 9 months on to 12 months, the government can also pay you statutory maternity allowance. So that is something that most women, like myself, I've been on maternity 3 times already. So most women who receive statutory maternity pay may see that there is a reduction in their pay, and they might want to do this for financial benefit by coming in within certain days, but not more than 10 days.
So in that situation, can the employer also ask that there is some extra work to be done, and the person on maternity leave may be asked to come in one way as a favor or something to help the organization? Can the employer ask for this?
I mean, it's an agreement. So if the employer does ask the employee whether they can come in, as long as the employee agrees to it, of course, why not? And the employee can also ask the employer whether they can also come in. And so it's a mutual agreement between the two parties. And if they both agree, then why not? But it cannot be more than 10 days, as Regulation 9A states.
So if there's a need for, if the employer, for instance, asks for this, and there's the need for the employee to work more than the 10 days, statutorily, it can't be possible. It has to end after the 10 days.
Yes, and so the law is very clear that after a period of 10 days, then it means that you are going back to your contractual hours. So it means that um, if you are going to agree with the employee that you're working, I mean, they're going to work for more than a period of 10 days, then it means that you are going by your contractual hours rather than under the statutory maternity regulations, because the statutory maternity regulations allows you to get your statutory pay in addition to the contractual pay. So if you are working more than the 10 days, then the law is saying that then you are limited. You can't receive both pay at the same time.
Now, a bit out of the tangent, but let me ask this.
Mhm.
If I'm entitled to 6 months maternity leave, and the government statutory bit is to pay me maternity allowance for an extra 6 months, can I decide to kind of spend some time, come to work, then split it, and later on do that? Or it has to be in one stretch?
So usually the 10 days that we are talking about, it doesn't have to necessarily be consecutively. It can be once a week, it can be twice a week, it can be however you've agreed with your employer. So if you agree with your employer and you say, okay, I want to come in at least once a week before my 6 months is over, then he will agree to it that, okay, come in once a week, work your normal contractual hours until your 6 months is over. And so once your 6 months statutory maternity pay, I mean, is reduced, then you can say that, okay, do you know what? Because I can't do more than the 10 days that you've given me, I'll stick to that and then I'll come back to work after 6 months. But if you are thinking, no, I need more time as a mother to spend with the child, and I'm not mentally ready, I'm physically drained, I need more time with my baby, then of course you can say to your employer, I'm not going to come back after 6 months, I'm going to come back maybe after 9 months. And then, of course, you have to agree with your employer. Once maybe my 6 months is over, can I come in maybe once a week for 10 days before I come in to work after 9 months? So it depends on how you've agreed with your employer to be working. So if, like you said, you're working up to um, the 12 months, then obviously it's outside of your statutory maternity. But if you decide that, if for one reason or the other you cannot um, come back to work after the 6 months, then obviously you have to agree with your employer that because you are limited in what you can do, you only work the 10 days from 6 months to 12 months, and then you come back after the 12-month maternity.
Somebody's just sent an interesting question here. Is there
Yeah.
anything like paternity leave in this country?
Yes, there is. There's 2 weeks paternity leave, and then there's shared parental leave as well. So, with the shared parental leave, one party can decide to take 6 months off, and the other party can decide to take the other 6 months off. So, there is paternity leave for 2 weeks. Yes.
Well, we will be exploiting that at a later date. So fathers will also have something to enjoy. Well, yes. So the nugget is talking about keeping intact days that allows employees on maternity leave to work without bringing their maternity leave or pay to an end. Employees on maternity leave can take 10 keeping in touch days during their statutory maternity leave. Working more than 10 days will end the employee's maternity leave. The employee and employer should agree on the type of work and pay before the employee starts working. So keep note of this. I will be giving you a scenario later on, and I'll test your knowledge in this. So keep this in mind. We'll be coming to that later on. You're still live with us on the Community and the Law, brought to you by BWF Solicitors. At this point, we're doing updates and a nugget that is giving out very early Monday morning or by midday Monday. Is what we have dealt with. So if you are with us on our various platforms, Monday there'll be another one coming out. So watch out for it. Live on the Community and the Law. We will be coming back to get into our discussion pretty soon. Let me welcome our folks and brothers and sisters who have joined us online. I keep saying I want to repeat today that if you join us either on Facebook at BWF Solicitors, YouTube at BWF Solicitors, BWTV, both Facebook and YouTube, please let us know you are in. Click on the like button, share the page as well, and invite others to come in and share and partake in the knowledge that we are giving you here. And it's all brought to you by BWF Solicitors, our trusted partners when it comes to the law. BWF Solicitors, fourth floor of the Honor House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters in London. Call them 0208 493 7340 or 077 127 61884. Let's take this quick break, and when we come, we delve into the discussion. It's the Community and the Law.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
welcome back, and thank you for still sticking with us. We're live on BWTV. Just before we went on the break, we were giving you some updates. Now, there's something that's coming up really quick in the new year, and I want us to really touch on that and get some fine details from lawyer Eunice. Now, hear this. Um, Electronic travel authorizations for visitors to the UK extended to most non EU countries. Now, the UK government has now extended the electronic travel visa to more non European countries from the 8th of January 2025. An ETA gives permission to travel to the UK, but it is not the same as a UK visa. I know that um, difference will be clear when lawyer Eunice explains that. Now, the information says that all applicants from visa countries, including Ghana and most African countries, must continue to apply for their visas in the usual way until they are told otherwise. An ETA lasts for 2 years. Visitors can travel to the UK as many times as they want during that time using the same ETA. If you obtain a new passport, you need to apply for a new ETA. So electronic travel authorization, not the same as a visa. Linus, what are we talking about here?
So, as you've rightly said, an electronic travel authorization is for those who do not need visas. And so, there are visa countries and non visa countries. And usually, most people coming to the UK would need a visa one way or the other. But this is specifically for those who are coming on visits. So, those who are coming on visits to the UK who are from non visa countries such as Canada, the US, you have other countries in the Southern American countries like Venezuela and Colombia used to be part of the list, but unfortunately they've been taken off that non visa list. You have other countries within the Emirates and most of the Asian countries who are also part of the non-visa countries. And so this is more to do with those who are non-visa nationals coming into the UK on visit, and they would have to apply for an electronic travel authorization. Usually, you can apply at least 48 hours before your travel. So you go online, it's an online form. You apply using the online form, and it costs £10 only for that 2 year period. And once you've applied for an electronic travel authorization, you can come in and out of the UK whenever you are obviously going through the UK. Once you've got that ETA, also the government will be able to know who is coming in and out of the country on visit as well. And as you've just read out, this is going to be applicable to non EU countries, and then it will become applicable to all EU countries by April of 2025.
Okay. I see a similar thing the Americans do. They call it the electronic system for travel authorization. Is it
Yes.
something similar the UK is doing now?
Yes, it's practically the same thing, and it's not just the US. The Canadians do it as well. So whenever you're traveling to the US or traveling to Canada, you have to apply for an ESTA, which is for the US, and an ETA as well, which is for Canada. And so for both countries, you need to apply before you arrive there. And most of the time, once you've applied for an ESTA or an ETA, you can go in and out of the country just like any normal visitor would do. So this is only for a period of 6 months or less at one given time. So you can't stay more than 6 months at a given time if you are coming on an ESTA or an ETA. So very, very similar to what the US and Canada have.
So the electronic travel authorization for the UK, you have to apply and pay £10. It's not a free thing,
Yes. So you apply and then you pay a fee of £10 and it's valid for that 2 year period.
and it's not the same as the visa.
No, it's not,
I know
because it's only
people
for
will want to
non-visa
really stress
countries.
that.
Yes. So as our notes rightly states, it's only for non-visa countries, and most non-visa countries are within the American northern and southern part of America and part of Asia. So most African countries, unfortunately, are not non-visa; they are visa countries, and therefore, when you are coming to the UK on a visit, you would definitely need to apply for a visa before you can enter.
All right. So yes, as Lawyer Eunice has said, the UK government from the 8th of January is introducing um, or it is extending. That is, the system is in place, but it's extending that to more non-European countries from the 8th of January, as I said earlier on. It gives you the permission to travel to the UK, but it's not the same as your UK visa. So applicants from countries, including Ghana and most African ones that require visas to come to the UK, until otherwise told, please apply for your visas the same way as you do normally. An ETA, as we said, lasts for 2 years. Visitors can travel to the UK as many times as they want during that time using the same ETA. And we've just been told that it costs £10. Don't expect that it's free. It costs you £10 for the 2 year period. Well, thank you very much, Eunice. I said I was going to welcome those who have joined us online and have made their presence known. So if you want to get acknowledged and recognized, please put yourself down there in the comment section down below, and want to recognize all of you. Thank you very much. Without you, we can have a program. So I appreciate your presence. But do this for me. Subscribe to the channel, share the link and the page, and also click on the notification button so that when we put out any content, you would have the opportunity of knowing that it's on there and you do not miss it. Mandatory e-visa registration for non-EU migrants in the UK. I mentioned, and I think it's a fact that you know already, that the biometric cards that you have expire on the 31st of December 2024, which is exactly 10 days away. Have you done your e-visa thing? Who is to do the e-visa thing? What are the challenges? What are the things we need to know? So, Lioness, let me go back to basics and ask, what is an e-visa?
So an electronic visa, as we've now known as e-visa, is when you are able to view your immigration status online. So most people have a biometric card which states their leave, when it starts and when it ends. And then, of course, when you look at your biometric card now, most biometric cards will have an expiry date of 31st December 2024. That does not mean that your leave is ending on 31st December 2024. It only means that your card is expiring on that date, but your real leave or your real immigration status will usually be able to you'll be able to view it if you are logged into the UKVI account, and then you can tell exactly when your leave will be ending. So an electronic visa, or an e-visa as we know it, is when you are able to view your leave or your stay online. So if I have a parent leave based on my child, then I should be able to view my stay online. And usually I would see a picture of myself and then my leave. So I have leave to remain on so and so date, and it will be expiring on so and so date. So it's literally an electronic version of what you used to have on your biometric card. And therefore, the government has announced it over and over again so that people are aware. But the honest truth is, most people are not aware that they're supposed to do this. As much as possible, those who are able to share code and all of that know that their leave will be expiring at a later date, but they are not sure how to go about the e-visa, which is also a reason why most people have to bear this in mind. if you have leave to remain, you would have to obviously apply for the e-visa. And if you also have indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom, you would also have to apply for the e-visa. And so it's important that you realize that it is not just for those who have leave to remain alone, but also those who have indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom. And so for most people, um, under the immigration rules, apart from those who are British, you would have to do this. And then those who are under the EU settlement scheme already have this in place because of the fact that they are able to view their immigration status online and share codes with employers and landlords and the rest of it. So it's important that most people who are under the immigration rules know that they are supposed to do this before um, the time runs out.
Like you've mentioned share code, which brings me to the point where people who have limited leave to remain and would want to prove that they have the right to work here in the UK generate a
Mm.
share code. Uh, EU nationals and non-EU nationals all generate share codes, do they?
Yes, yes.
So if I have a share code, do I necessarily have to have an e-visa account?
So, as I explained at first, the e visa is when you're able to view your immigration status. If you're
Mhm.
able to share the code, that means that you are able to share what your immigration status is. That also means that you already have a UKVI account. So, most people who are able to share code would be able to do so because they've created a UKVI account. Those people who are not able to share code may not have necessarily created a UKVI account. So once you're able to share code, that means that you've been able to create an account one way or the other. When it comes to those who are able to share code, most of the time they ask you for your details. And most people would usually use their biometric card because the system has been created in such a way that it only allows you to log in with your biometric card and not your passport. And so it's important that most people who will be creating a UKVI account to be able to access their e-visas would have to do so with their biometric card or permit. And therefore, it's important that you realize that because the card is expiring on the 31st of December, once that time has passed, you will no longer be able to use your card to create an e-visa. Yeah.
So let me again find out. So if I am an EU member under the EU settlement scheme, I don't have to worry myself creating an e-visa account. What if my passport has expired and I've renewed it?
So, yes, if your passport has expired and you're an EU national family member and you've already um, got a pre settled status or you've already got settled status under the EU settlement scheme, yes, of course, you can update your details on the UKVI account. So, once you log into the system, there's a section where it says update details. It allows you to update your name, it allows you to update your address, it allows you to update your telephone number. It also allows you to update your identification document. And so it will tell you, do you want to add an additional identity document? And because you've renewed your passport, you would be able to upload it onto the UKVI account. So it will ask you for your details and then it will ask you for a photograph. And then once you've uploaded the photograph onto the UKVI account, then of course you would know that the passport has been uploaded onto your account. And whenever you are traveling in and out, they will be able to view your new identification or your new passport, as you have rightly said.
Okay. Well, I will be coming to the non EU migrants. But let me clear all these things. So the 31st December deadline, does it apply to EU migrants as well, especially those who want to update their details? Or with the updating of the details, you can do it anytime at all?
So for EU nationals and EU national family members, this 31st December deadline does not apply to them because they already have their e-visa. So
Mhm.
the dates they see on their biometric card is not applicable to them because they already have what we call the electronic visa or the immigration status that they can view online. So they do not have to make any changes or make any updates unless they are updating their passport, as you rightly said, or they are updating their address, or they are updating some other personal detail like their phone number or whatever email address that they use. So
Okay.
apart from those details, the 31st deadline date does not apply to them because they already have an
Already have
e-visa.
account. Okay. All right. So then let's look at non-EU migrants. My understanding is that if we say a non-EU migrant, then it means somebody who is not under the EU settlement scheme. Would I be right?
That's correct. And so a non-EU migrant is somebody who is obviously not an EU citizen or a family member of an EU citizen. They may be from um, other countries, but they are also not British citizens either. And so it can be the fact that somebody has come into the country, they've even received their settled status, they've received their indefinite leave to remain, and they are still seen as a foreign national because they haven't become British nationals, and they're probably not EU nationals either, and they are also not family members of EU nationals, and therefore they fall into the category of non-EU migrants. And so, as long as you're not a British national or EU national or a family member of an EU national, you fall under this category.
EU nationals, stay one side. We are going to deal with the non-EU migrants. Then we're looking at the EU visa. What do we need to know? How do I know that this is my eVisa account? How do I create it? What are the things that I need to put together before I can properly and accurately create one? Lawyer, we are at your mercy now. Take us through it.
Okay, so very, very helpfully, the UK government has put in place a short video to show people how to create an e-visa. They've
Okay.
also created a short, how do we call it, code where you can um, literally take a photograph of it, and then it will show you how to create an e-visa. But the way that I know how to is to basically tell people, hey, if you want to create an e-visa, just go onto Google and type in access e-visa. Once you just type in into your Google search engine, it should come up with a .gov.uk website, and on accessing your e-visa, it will tell you to start now. And as soon as it tells you to start now, you put in your biometric card details.
Okay.
The reason why I say biometric card or biometric permit details is because the system has not been made to function with the foreign passport. So, unfortunately, if you use your passport to create the account, it will not allow you to do so. So, you have to use your biometric card or your biometric permit to create the UKVI account. So it will ask you obviously for your name, your date of birth. You put in your name, you put in your date of birth, and then it will also ask you for the email address and the telephone number that you wish to use. So if you are so and so, you have your own email address, you should also have your telephone number at hand, and it will send a code to both your email and also to your telephone number. And it will tell you to put in the code as well so that it knows that you've been able to verify both your email and your telephone number. So once you've been able to verify both contact details, it will go on to tell you to download an app, and this app is the UK immigration app, ID check. Once you've downloaded the app will then tell you to scan your biometric card. Very easily, you can scan the card with the app. But you need something that they call a near field connection. That is what allows the mobile phone to read the biometric details on the card. So if you have a phone that is fairly advanced, I'll put it that way, it should
I
have a
have.
near field connection that will allow the mobile phone to read the details on the card. It will ask you to take a photograph of the card, the front and the back, and then it will ask you to scan the biometrics on the card. Once you're done with that, it means that you've completed the identification process of creating a UKVI account. So once that is done, it will then ask you a few more questions. It will ask you your location, where you are. Are you in the UK or outside of the UK? It will ask you if you have any criminal convictions, and then it will also ask you in terms of any they call them questions like security questions, where you would be able to put in answers just in case they need to contact you. So once they've asked you your security questions and then you've been able to give them three possible answers, it will then ask you to make a declaration. So once you've completed the declaration, it will ask you to submit your application for accessing your eVisa. It will then send you an email to let you know that you've now created the account, and they will be able to link your UKVI account to your eVisa. And within a few minutes, you should receive another email that tells you that they have been able to link your UKVI account with your eVisa. And once they have linked it, that is when you are able to now view your photograph and then view your status as
I
well.
think that is where the issue is, where they will send you a notification that you've created your account and
Yes,
the linkage of that to your eVisa account or whatever it is. That's where the problem usually is.
yes,
Uh,
yeah.
I got information that people really had challenges at that point.
Mm.
And the Home Office, did they admit it was a technical issue? Has it been resolved? Are people readily able to link their uh, e-visa creation and their biometrics?
I think for most people, the issue that you mentioned now has been resolved to a certain extent. There are still some people who are unable to do so. So you have people who have indefinite leave to enter, or they've got leave to enter.
Mhm.
Those sort of people are the people who are still going through this issue. For those people who have leave to remain and indefinite leave to remain, they don't usually have this issue. But it's more to do with those who have leave to enter or indefinite leave to enter. And so
Mhm.
the government is now looking at ways to now make sure that people are able to create the account even with their reference numbers that were used for the applications, and that is where they are at the moment. And from the 31st of October, just 2 months ago, they stopped issuing biometric cards and permits completely.
Okay.
So now you have a system where people have to create a UKVI account without the biometric card. And so they are having to use their reference numbers for the applications to now create the account, because they are now under the category of non-biometric card users. And so now they are obviously trying to rectify the system. I wouldn't say the problem is completely done away with. They are still rectifying it. And I'm very, very sure that by 31st of December, we should hear some good news that all
Yes,
these
cousin,
people,
hopefully.
yes, all these people have now been able to log in successfully into their UKVI accounts. And it's a real issue because obviously they don't expect to be in this position, but they are now in this position, and the government has to make sure that they are creating a system which is suitable for everybody to be able to um, apply into and then use satisfactorily for their benefit.
I am looking at the page that you asked us to access, the apply to visit or stay in the UK Home Office.gov.uk, and
Yeah.
the I think the second or third page. Have you ever had a resident permit? And then it asks you to continue and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Do I have to use either my BRP or passport, or I have to use both?
Usually, if you're creating the UKVI account, like I said, it wouldn't allow you to use your passport. It will only um, allow you to use your biometric permit or biometric card. And so the issue now is uh, you creating the account if you don't have one. So most people who do not have a UKVI account will not be able to even view or share their code anyway. And so when you have to create that UKVI account, you have to be able to do so with your biometric card or permit. It is only when you have now created a UKVI account and it's active that you can change your what do they call it? Login
ID
details.
document, yeah.
So once you've made your UKV account, you can then change your login details to reflect your passport. And so whenever you're logging in, you can say you prefer to use your passport details to log in rather than your biometric residence card or permit. And for people who were able to create an account before their current leave expired, they have that running, and so that is reflective of the government being active or proactive. But unfortunately, if your current leave has expired and you didn't create an account beforehand, and you're also in the category of those who would not be issued a biometric card or permit, then it means that you should be able to now um, update your details with your current application number so that it's reflective of your current status.
Well, if you just joined us, we are live on the Community on the Law, and we coming your way courtesy BWF Solicitors. This afternoon, we're looking at non-EU migrants and the e-visa conundrum that we have on our hands. Remember, on the 31st of December 2024, all the BRPs will expire. In fact, from the beginning of October up to date, they have not been issuing new cards. But the ones that have already been in the system and will be expiring on the 31st of December, you would have to get rid of that. And by getting rid of that, you have to create a UKVI account or eVisa account, link that, and then you will be properly identified and, of course, migrated from the non-digital system to a more and a fully digital system. And all you need to know is what lawyer Eunice Champon is helping us to do that. We're so grateful to BWF solicitors. There are more questions and I know you will want to ask them. So when we take this break and come back, if you have any question, put them in the comment section below, either on Facebook or YouTube at BWF solicitors, and let us have it. Or you can send in a text to 07399 208 468, or you can send a WhatsApp as well to the same number, or you can even call on 0208 493 7345. Good afternoon to you, Sandra. Greetings to you as well. Helena A says, good afternoon, Brakwiku and Lawyer Ines. Thank you for another day of great help and educative program for the community. God bless you richly. Helena, thank you very much as well. Yes, let's hear from you. Let's keep your comments coming through. We'll put them up there. If you have a question outside of our discussion as well, you can bring that in. I'm giving Lawyer Inez a few moments to take a break, take a sip of water, and when we come back, we'll continue. The Community and the Law is brought to you by BWF Solicitors.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
For how to make money.
Okay. Welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking around as the community and the law brought to you by BWF Solicitors. And this afternoon, a resource person and guest is lawyer Eunice Champo, partner of BWF Solicitors. And we're looking at all we need to know when it comes to eVisa for non-EU migrants. If you were with us earlier on, she mentioned and explained that the e-visa bit is for non-EU migrants. If you are an EU migrant, you are under EUSS scheme, you are EU citizen or EU person, you are EU family member, you have a pre-settled or settled status, you have an e-visa account already. What you may need to do is probably go to update your details, your telephone number, your address, and your expired and renewed passport. You update those. But those of us who are non-EU migrants, this is for you. Remember, by the 31st of December, you should have had an e-visa account created, link that to your BRP, and then declare your state, or your details will be there for you to see. We got to the point where we have created the account and have linked the eVisa account to your biometric and your details, where you can see your picture, you can see your details, and your visa status and the rest of it. Lioness, if I'm not able to get through to link the details and it's beyond the 31st of December, say the 1st of January 2025, what will happen to me?
Okay, so if for one reason or the other, which I think most people will fall into that category, have not created a UKVI account or have not been able to access their e-visas, the government has said that they have extended the deadline to March, the end of March, and they will keep it under review. And so they know that most people may not have had the information to now create an e-visa. And there are some people who are also outside of the United Kingdom, and for one reason or the other, they have not heard that they need to have an e-visa. And the e-visa is what they would need when traveling back to the United Kingdom. And so this is not just for those who are currently residing in the United Kingdom, but those who are also um, leave to remain migrants or have indefinite leave to remain and are living elsewhere outside the United Kingdom. They also need to be able to create an e-visa to be able to return to the UK after the 31st of December 2024. But the government has said that they will extend this deadline. So even if your biometric card has expired by the 31st of December 2024, they would still allow you to enter the UK up until the end of March 2025. And so they are giving us this grace period, as we usually say, up until March. They would keep it under review to make sure that all those who this is applicable to have been able to create a UKVI account and are able to access their e-visa so that they are able to return to the UK as and when they travel in out of the UK. And so it's important that if you have a biometric card and it's expiring by the 31st of December, you make every effort to create an e-visa. Otherwise, it will become very difficult after March 2025.
Can I try to be smart about it here? I'm traveling outside of the UK between now and 31st December. I've not been able to create my e-visa account. But in the UK, I am able to demonstrate that I have the right to rent, I have the right to open an account, and I have the right to work. So if I go out of the UK and I'm coming back, say middle of January 2025, and I have my share code to indicate that I have the right to work in the UK, can I present that at the airport to tell them that, listen, my BIP is expired, but I have the right to go back to the UK?
Yes, so that's the essential part of the e-visa, for you to be able to show that you have your immigration status online. That is the whole point of the e-visa. So if you're able to generate a code which allows a third party or an agency to view your immigration status here in the UK, then of course you've already accessed your e-visa. So the whole point of the government introducing the e-visa is so that people are now showing that they have digitized their immigration status and other people can view it without having to have a physical document on themselves. And so if you travel out of the UK, even by the end of December and you're returning somewhere next year, as long as you are able to generate a code for a third party, you should be able to return because your e-visa would clearly show that your leave is expiring at a later date rather than the 31st of December 2024. And so the whole point is for you to be able to generate a code and then show that at the airport when you arrive.
So, would it be advisable to say that whoever is traveling out of the UK between now and the end of the year, even if you have been able to link your or create a e-visa account and it's very properly linked, you generate a share code and keep it on you just in case the system fails?
Yes, so as most people know, if you're able to generate a share code, it's only valid for 90 days.
Yeah.
So if you generate a share code, please make sure that you are going to be traveling back within that 90 days. Otherwise, you have to generate another share code because it lasts for only 90 days. It's important that as much as possible, when you generate that share code, you are able to use it within that time frame of 90 days, and then whenever you need it again you can generate another share code. And I know most people who generate it are able to show this to employers and landlords and other agencies as well, because
Mhm.
I believe that other agencies like the DVLA and even the um, Department of Work and Pensions, they all use this way or means of digitization to actually see a person's immigration status in the UK. So that is the whole point of us having this e-visa, so that most agencies can view your status electronically without having to post your physical document or having to have your physical document on you. And sometimes people may be careless or may have misplaced their biometric cards, and this is a good way of the government now saying you don't need to have the physical document. You just show us your online immigration status, and we will do the necessary.
All right. Well, if you just joined us and you have any question or concern, you can send that to us via text 07399208468, or you can also call us on 0208 493 7345 0208 493 7345, or you leave that in the comment section below. Lawyer Eunice Achampon is here, and by courtesy of BWF Solicitors, we will be answering your questions. So keep them coming through, or you can even call us. I mentioned 0208 493 7345. Nanette Chiahine has this one on the platform, and it says, please, the UKVI account is created successfully, but there's no link to upload passport. The BRP used to create UKVI account doesn't appear in account. After December, how can the account be accessed?
Okay, so here is a case where somebody has created the UKVI account but then doesn't have the passport on there. So, like I previously explained, once you have created a UKVI account with your biometric permit or your biometric card,
Mhm,
now you are able to view your immigration status. So whether you are an EU national or a non-EU national, you should be able to view your immigration status with your photograph. And so
mhm,
your photograph should be showing clearly, and then your immigration status should show whether you have leave to remain or indefinite leave to remain. It should clearly show underneath the photograph. So if you are asking in terms of how do you update your passport details, you should be looking for the section that says update details. It might not show immediately. You have to look for it. So once
mhm,
you've logged in, there's a section, contact details, login details, update details. These three things: contact details, login details, update details. Once you
mhm.
see update details, you should be able to click on update details. It will then allow you to update whichever detail you want to update. So whether it's your email address, your telephone number, or your passport. Once you get onto the update details page, it should allow you to now um, add an additional identification document. And once you click on add an additional identification document, it will allow you to photograph your picture page of your passport, and then you upload it onto the system. So once you've uploaded it onto the system, it should be able to identify that this is your new passport or identification document.
Well, let me just stretch it. Well, before we go on to the next question, let me just stretch it and ask those EU migrants that would have to probably update their documents, ID documents, and the rest of it. Where do they go? Do they go to the same website where it says that log into your eVisa account, or there's a different place for them?
So for most migrants who've applied for pre-settled status or settled status under the EU settlement scheme, most of
Mhm,
the time when they go on to um, view my immigration status,
mhm,
it will come up with the option that I just mentioned to update your status. It's the same government website. So
Okay.
once you've gone onto the view my immigration status, there's a section where it says um, update my details. It's the same website. So you update your details on there. It's not different to those who are non EU migrants. It's the same website. So it should allow you to also update your details, whether you are uh, somebody under the EU settlement scheme or somebody who is under the immigration rules.
All right.
Yeah.
If you have any question, yes, we're picking them now. 0208 493 7345, or keep them in the comment section below. Nanama says, I have full EU settlement and will expire next year, June. But I apply for indefinite. So do I need to do, or do I need to apply for an e-visa?
So if she has settled status, usually that doesn't expire unless she's saying that the card will expire next year, June. So if the
Mhm.
card is even expiring next year, June, she does not need to apply for an e-visa as she already has one.
One. Okay. So yeah, Nanama, you don't need to apply for one because you already have one. And when you go to the gov.uk site and you want to look at or to update your visa or check your EU your immigration status, you will see that you'll be able to update or know what is happening to you. Keep them coming through. We can pick the next one. Nanechia, if a parent in the UK's leave to remain is refused, what will be the effect on the relevant child? If they're asked to appeal from outside the UK, any reasons they can give in order to be considered to appeal in the UK? What will be the impact on the child and the parent if the parent had to appeal the refusal from outside of the UK?
Okay, so I think Nana Etiahene is asking in regards to a person who has applied to join their child in the UK because he's referring to somebody who's applied outside of the UK, and if they are to appeal, what effect would they have on the child? So most of the time, um, the law says that you should be able to show that you either have sole responsibility for this child, or you are saying that both parents either are now coming into the UK, or the parent who is the other parent of the child is applying for you to come and join him or her as the spouse. So, if for one reason or the other you are not able to prove sole responsibility, and you are also saying that the other parent is not applying with you to come into the UK, or that you are not applying to join the other parent as their spouse, then it puts you in a very difficult position. And so I will need more details to be able to ascertain who is this child in the UK with. If the qualifying child is a British national, or a child who has settled status or indefinite leave to remain in the UK, who is the other parent? Is the other parent involved in the child's life, or the other parent, for one reason or the other, is unable to care for this child, and therefore the parent outside of the UK is the parent who has to come and care for this child because the other parent cannot adequately care for the child here in the UK. So I would need more information to be able to ascertain on what basis this appeal is being made.
Well, yes, let's keep them coming through. Lawyer Eunice is here. We're doing this courtesy BWF solicitors. What we have discussed this afternoon is mandatory e-visa registration for non-EU migrants in the UK. All you need to know is what we have dealt into. So, if you have any further question, let's get that. But before then, let me remind you, there was this nugget we brought you earlier on, and I said I was going to test you on that. Keep in touch, the KIT number of days. How many days did we talk about? Now let's look at the nugget again, and I will get you to start pondering on that. Then I'll bring you the question and the scenario to help you look at that. Nanama says, thanks so much. Yes, Nanama, we got your question answered. So thank you very much as well for sticking with us. Let's look at what the nugget said again. Okay, well, before we bring the nuggets, let's see. Nanetia here says the link is missing for uploading new document. Um, Lainis mentioned that you may have to probably search thoroughly on the page and you will find it. I will check and see if I can see it from here and I'll share that with you. You're still live on BWTV and we are bringing you the community and the law. Yes, Lainis, I was going to ask people to really look at the nugget again and I'll ask the question about the time what was the name of it? Shall
Keeping
we
in touch. Keeping
keeping
in
in
touch days.
the KIT. Yeah, that 10-day period that we were talking about. Let's see if we can read that again so we refresh people's mind on that. It says keeping in touch days allow employees on maternity leave to work without bringing their maternity leave or pay to an end. Employees on maternity leave can take 10 keeping in touch days during their statutory maternity leave. Working more than 10 days will end the employee's maternity leave. The employee and the employer should agree on the type of work and pay before the employee starts working. So now, this scenario and question is what I have for you. Think about it, then we'll come to pick up some more of your questions and concerns. Equia Mary is on statutory maternity leave for 6 months. Now, during the fourth month, Equia asked the employers to work as a keeping in touch. How many days can Equa work? 7 days, 12 days, or 10 days? Which one will be the correct answer? Think about it. I'll take a break and when we come back, we'll take more of your questions on the community and the law with BWF solicitors.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking around. We took a break, and I know you are pondering over the question, and you'll be giving me the right answer very soon. Lioness is right here, and we're looking at mandatory e-visa registration for non-EU migrants. All you need to know, we're looking at that. Keep your comments coming through, your text messages, and the rest of it. If you want to call, let us get ready for you as well. The link is missing for uploading new document. Lawyer, with regards to this question, I don't know whether this one is what we need to go to, or this page is where we need to go to. Update your UK visas and immigration account details. It is where we're supposed to
Yes,
go.
yes. So that's correct. So, like, as you scroll down this page, it should allow you to click on Start Now and then put in your details. Sign into your UKVI
Your
account.
UK account.
So
Right.
once you sign into your UKVI account, it should then ask you for your details for signing in. And
So
once
you
you've been able
go to
to
sign
sign
in.
in, then you
And
can update your passport.
okay, so here the this person is talking about where to upload details. He may have to sign in with one of these because he may have created an account with one of these, isn't it?
That's correct. And
So if
so
it says
most people
BRP,
would, yes, would have
so
used the biometric card or permit to create the account.
okay,
I know that for most people, they would have received an email once their e-visa was created, and they would expect to use that link within the email. But if you don't have the email, you can easily go onto Google and type in update details on e-visa, and the .gov UK website should come up. And as you have clearly shown, you should be able to log in and then update your ID document or your identification document as you've correctly pointed out.
okay, all right. So my friend and brother, that is a further explanation to your question. Yes. If you have any further question or answer, bring that. Ishaba Kwame says, my question on e-visa: do EU nationals with settled status need to apply for e-visa? Lawyer will come in, but obviously the answer is no. You don't need to. I
Yes.
hope I'm right.
So, Nana Ishiraba Kwame, please, if you are able to view your status online, you already have an e-visa. That picture with your status showing pre-settled or settled, and you know that this is what you use for share code and the rest of it, that is your e-visa. So you do not need to create any other e-visa. You already have it.
Yeah, so Ishaba Kwame, you already have it, so you don't need to worry about that. Who else answered a question? Let's see what else we can pick up. Lydia, there, how might the introduction of mandatory e-visa registration impact UK employers who hire non-EU nationals? Are there new compliance obligations for businesses, Laura?
So when it comes to the e-visa, it means that most employers will now need to update their staff and let them know that because of the introduction of e-visas, no, they wouldn't be taking their biometric cards or biometric permits any longer, and therefore they would now need to be able to share code with the employer in order to have the employer keep record of their immigration status. So before, you would have taken your biometric card to your employer to tell him, see my expiry date, my leave doesn't end until so so and so. Unfortunately, now you don't have that option. And so most employers, if they have a good HR team, would have received government compliance guidance to let them know that they will no longer be taking biometric cards or permits, and they now have to have the employee share a code with them to let them the employer know that this is their current immigration status. For those who already have biometric cards which will be expiring sometime later, of course, you don't need to update the employer until the employer asks you to share code with them of your current status. Most employers, unfortunately, to tell you the truth, they don't even know that the system is now changing. And so most people that come to me with indefinite leave to remain, they haven't had these checks done by their employers. So they didn't even know that there was something that they needed to do in terms of something called an e-visa. And that goes for people who are supposed to be under the EU settlement scheme. And so, if for one reason or the other your employer doesn't know, that doesn't mean that you should not be made aware either. You should know because it will affect you not only in terms of work, but in terms of renting a place, and other third parties, such as the Department of Work and Pensions or DVLA, may now ask you to share code with them. And remember, when you're traveling back to the UK, they will ask for your share code. And so it's important that even if you have indefinite leave to remain in the UK, that you have an e-visa that you have generated so that they can view your status online.
Well, keep them coming through 0208 493 7340 or 07399208 468. Your text, your WhatsApp messages are invited. What are the main reasons the UK government introduced the mandatory e-visa registration for non-EU migrants? Beatrice is asking, Laura.
Apart from the fact that it's easy to access, of course, it makes things easier. Like I said, there will be people who may have misplaced a biometric card or permit for one reason or the other, and you don't want to be applying for a biometric card and being left in limbo, especially if you need to travel back to the UK. You now have to wait for a new biometric card or permit to be issued before you can say you're traveling back to the UK. So it's a way of easily accessing somebody's immigration status without having a physical document. And also, it helps other third party agencies to view your status much more efficiently. And so, once you're able to generate a code, an employer, a landlord, any other third party who needs to view your immigration status can easily access it on the government website, and it's also a trustworthy um, website, and so they wouldn't have any qualms that somebody is using a third party's ID or passport. They are able to keep things efficiently and run things efficiently as best as possible. And so I know it's going to be a bit difficult for those who are used to physical document, but this is also to help the system run more efficiently than it's ever done before.
Well, we live on BWTV. We got some couple of moments to get to the end of it. So if you have a question, you have a concern, it may not necessarily be about the e-visa bit. It could be any immigration issue. It could be any legal question. BWF solicitors are proud to be giving us that opportunity to answer our questions and help us surmount all the legal challenges we have here in the UK. Laura Konyopon says, are there any specific categories of migrants, for instance, students, workers, family members, that are exempt from the e-visa requirement, or does it apply universally? Um, that's what we are discussing. What it is there that we need to know is that the e-visa is for non-EU migrant workers. So if you're a student and you are a non-EU migrant person, if you're working, you're a family member of a non-EU migrant person, then this one applies to you. So check your status and let us know. Would I be right?
That's correct. So any category you find yourself in, whether you're a worker, a student, as you just mentioned, and the worker categories are a range. So we have people who are on the innovator startup route, You have people on the global talent route. You have people on the creative worker route. You have so many skilled worker routes. It's applicable to all the skilled work routes. It's applicable to the UK ancestry route. It's applicable to everybody who has any sort of limited leave to remain or indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So it's universal, Kojo Opong. As you have rightly seen, it's applicable to everybody. So nobody is exempt. Nobody can say that they're exempt from this e-visa introduction or e-visa status that the government has said everybody should be registered to.
Okay. Well, before we pick the next one, you mentioned that there is some kind of grace period between now and the end of March 2025. Does it mean that if I'm not able to generate or do my eVisa account activation, linking, and then the rest of it, I can wait until the end of March? Is that what it is? Or I will still have to do it even though there are challenges when I've started? And I'm not able to do that or get through to it to the end by the end of 31st of December 2024, then I have that grace period. What's the difference? Can I wait and do it beyond 31st of December?
I think that's the rabbit hole that most people want to fall into because there's a grace period. So why not wait until then and then do it? I would say that when it comes to deadlines, our government is very strict on them, and we don't want a situation where somebody is traveling after March, they still haven't done the e-visa, and they think because there was a grace period allowed, therefore they can still enter the normal way, even with their expired biometric card. And this goes out to those with indefinite leave to remain as well. So if you have indefinite leave to remain, and most of the time everybody knows that indefinite means there is no limit to your leave in the UK. So you fall into that rabbit hole of thinking, well, there's no limit to my leave in the UK, so why do I need to do this e-visa? Because the government has said that this is a way that they would be able to allow you as a migrant to come back into the UK, and you as a migrant to be able to work, to be able to um, access third party agencies, help and support. It is important that you sign up to the e-visa. So it's not just for travel, it's not just for work, it's for everything else. So in general, your life here in the UK would require you to have upgraded to the e-visa so that you don't fall down the rabbit hole, because the longer you leave it, the more reluctant you are to sign up to it. And so this is a big shout out to not just those who have limited leave, but those who also have indefinite leave to remain.
There's this category of people who have vignettes in their passport, and they probably may even find themselves outside of the UK. If I don't have a BRP card, what do I do?
So, like you mentioned, those who may have a vignette or a wet ink stamp in their passport, they may have received it in the 90s or in the 80s. Whenever they received it, of
Mhm.
course, it will be in their passport. So they don't have a biometric permit or a biometric card, as you have said. So it will be difficult to obviously register onto a UKVI account in the first place. So the government has said that they have introduced an NTL, which is a no time limit e-visa application. And so with the no time limit NTL application, you are able to apply for a no time limit, and you will be granted a code. And once you have that code, you would be able to use that code to generate a UKVI account, and then obviously access your e-visa that way. And so there is now a no time limit e-visa application that you can complete and then be able to access your e-visa.
Then finally, I will ask if people have challenges with setting up their e-visa, is the opportunity still available for BWF solicitors to help people?
Yes, we're still doing this without any fees charged. You can still come in for us to help you obviously create a UKVI account and then link it to the e-visa. So if you are still worried and you are still not able to access your e-visa, do come in. We will help you with it. And if you are having any difficulties and we need to make a complaint, we will do so that at least the government is aware that these are the numbers of people who are having issues, and therefore they need to make amendments onto the system before the end of March 2025.
You're live with us on BW TV and bringing you the community on the law, brought to you by BWF Solicitors. This afternoon, we've looked at mandatory e-visa account creation, what you need to know, especially if you are a non-EU migrant here in the UK. Now, earlier on, I asked you the question and I want to pose it again, and then ponder over it. I'll come back for the answer. Now, let's look at the question. Akuya Mary is on statutory maternity leave for 6 months. During the fourth month, she asked the employers to work as keeping in touch. Keeping in touch, what's that? How many days can Akuya work? 7 days, 12 days, and or 10 days? Which one is the correct answer? Think about it. I'll get the answer from you in a moment. Okay, welcome back, and thank you very much. Well, we're going to quiz and see what answers you brought me. So let's see what answers you have. Or the question is, Akuya Mary is on statutory maternity leave for 6 months. During the fourth month, she asked employers to work as keeping in touch. From the nugget and the explanation we gave, how many days can Akuya work as keeping in touch? Is it 7? Is it 12? Is it 10 days? Let's see what answers you have. Kamran so starts off and it says 7 days. That's number one. Kamran, thank you. Angela Tano says number three, which says 10 days. Thank you very much. Come for your 10 days. Who else is coming? Ejenim Boating, number three, 10 days. We have next Adwan Kruma. Adwan Kruma says 10 days, which is number three. Thank you. The next one here, Gifty Poku, it says 12 days. 12 days, Gifty. Okay, Mami Dufie also says number three, which is 10 days. We move on to Millicent say number three, which is 10 days. Keeping in touch, number of days, 10 days they say. Is it number three? Yes. Okay, Nanaya also says it's 10 days. That is number three. Who else? Daniel Fosu, number one, 7 days. Okay. Next, Hannah Dankwa, number two. It's what? 12 days. Okay. Who else is coming? Who else is coming? Who else is coming? Let's take probably the last one. What do you think? Queer Mary on statutory maternity leave for 6 months asks for keeping in touch, and how many days statutorily can she work? Laura, how many days?
Okay, so I applaud all those who chose number three. It means they really paid attention to
Mhm.
the nugget. So she can't work more than 10 days under Regulation 9A of the Statutory Maternity Pay Regulation of 1986. So therefore, she can only work 10 days, which is number three. So a big round of applause to all those who chose number three. It can't be 12 days because that will be outside of the keeping in touch days. And she can work, I mean, 7 days. Obviously, if it's less than the 10 days, she can also work, but she cannot work more than the 10 days that the statute or the regulation has stated. So the
Okay,
answer will
so
be
yes, the
7 days
answer
or
is
10.
the answer is number three, which is 10 days. For those of you who said number three, congratulations to you. As well as said, a round of applause for all of you. Okay, okay, okay. Time and tide, they say, waits for no man, and we can never be exceptions to this general rule. So at this point, as tradition demands, I'm going to ask Lawyer Eunice to help us round up and give us a summary of what we discussed this afternoon. Mandatory e-visa registration for non-EU migrants in the UK, what we needed to know. Laura.
So, as we have thoroughly explained in today's discussion, the government has laid down the law in terms of all those who are non EU migrants, regardless of what route you are on, um, especially for those who have indefinite leave to remain. So, if you are a non EU national, whether you're a worker, a student, somebody who is a parent, a spouse, or a partner, you will all need to apply for an e-visa. And an e-visa, as we have currently stated, is an online um, immigration status which allows you and other third parties to view your immigration status here in the UK. If you need help accessing your e-visa, you need to register onto a UKVI account. Most of the instructions are on the .gov.uk website as to how you can register and obviously answer the questions and create a UKVI account, which will link up with your e-visa. Once you've been able to create an account, this would allow you to update your information, whether it's your personal information, your contact details, such as your telephone number, your email address, your residential address. It will allow you to update whatever details you have, including your passport as well. Once you are able to update your passport and other details onto the UKVI account, you can now share a code with your employer, with your landlord, with other third party agencies, including officers at the airport. And it's a requirement that you do so because all biometric cards and permits will be expiring by the 31st of December 2024. Yes, we have a grace period for those who have not been able to create the account to create an account by the end of March 2025. But that should not be taken for granted as the government is looking to make sure that all those that need to apply for the e-visa do so as soon as possible in order for things to run smoothly and efficiently. And so, without much ado, I thank you all for joining us today, and I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you very much, Lawyer Eunice, for your time and the kind gesture. And to BWF solicitors, we want to say thank you very much. We still have one more Saturday to go, so we will package all our positions into that last Saturday, and we'll come and express that. So, listeners, viewers, clients, customers, family members, the rest of it, get everything ready and get them over to me so we can read them out next week when we come on the program. But Lawyer Eunice, thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. I believe that whatever it is that we have had with customers, clients all throughout the year has been worth the while. And to BWF Solicitors, I want you to pass the message on to everybody, right from the senior partner to yourself, to Auntie Cynthia, to my wonderful ladies at the front desk who do casework, all the trainee lawyers, and everybody, and especially to my producer, Professor Ade. We want to say thank you very much for your time. It's been wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you once again.